Let's
Right.
go right ahead, Michelle.
So welcome to Thursday Chat, everybody. We are really excited today. We have lots to talk about, lots to share, and I have a great team that helped put this together. So we have Hannah Kelly running the background and recording all this. She's our health and wellness director. We have myself that I hang out with food service people, and I'm a dietitian and a chef, so that's always good. Josh Lightman and Meg Magzaman are our Fuel Up to Play 60 team members, and they're here to help if we need them. And our guest is Denise Ferguson, and Denise is with the Marion County Health Department, and we will find out why she's here in a little bit. So welcome. This is always exciting. And to start the things off, Happy National Dairy Month. We have a celebration for you. I'm excited about this. So how this is going to work is we want you to show your dairy spirit for the month of June. I sent you out something the first of the month, but in case you haven't opened up your emails yet, go do so. Not now, after we're done. But we want you to choose a theme, and of the three themes, one's farm to school, one's general farm spirit. So wear your work boots to work, or pizza makers. I know you guys are making pizzas and doing all kinds of fun things with cheese and whatnot. So have some fun, celebrate, and then we want your photos or your video sent to me by July 8th. And then what happens is we have 4 category winners. We have chocolate milk, white milk, yogurt, and cheese, please. So the categories, the 4 winners are going to be based on creativity, staff participation, most unique idea, and that's very subjective, and most colorful. We have to have something fun in there. And so the goal is that every school, like we have 4 different schools winning, so that we can show what's going on and what's happening and all of that throughout this summer to highlight you, because that's what our farmers want. The interesting part about this is that our farmers fund this, and our farmers are the ones that like to know what you're doing. So I will notify the winning schools by July 15th. And we have a little fairy in the back of our office, because we've not been there since March, that is putting together all the prize packages. So we talked about what we had, and this is a picture of your box of goodies for the winners. We have stuff for your staff, stuff for your kiddos, stuff to share, and then just giveaways throughout the year. So you'll have some fun things to do for those winners. So be creative, have some fun with it, and join us. So to give you some ideas, in case you're kind of tired at the end of the day, show us your farm sign, show us a school garden. Dress up as your favorite farm animal. I know you all have cow costumes. I've seen them. Someone actually has a tutu. More on that later. Some farm to school examples. Did you know that that spinach is the vegetable of the year for farm to school month? So how can you use it with dairy? Don't use the recipe I've already created, but just giving you an idea. Show us your school garden. I just planted mine last night. So I'm figuring I'm not too far behind the curve. I'm not a farmer. I'm a little suburban kid that's trying to grow a vegetable. And so I'll show you mine if you show me yours. And pizza makers, show me your skills. Show me your tossing of the pizza crust. Show me what fun ingredients. Are you making dessert pizzas with yogurt? Are you making a taco pizza? Are you making a breakfast pizza? Get creative. Show me your stuff. Have everything to me by the 8th. I'll let you know who wins by the 15th. And it's a way to celebrate National Dairy Month. So let's see what else we've got. A couple of serious things. We want to talk a little bit about school meals. So as you know, we wanted to provide you some updates from our national team about the National School Lunch Program, the school breakfast program, summer meals, child adult care feeding, all the way through August 31st. And if you haven't read the latest today from SNA, They're hard at work trying to get a lot of new governances through for the school year next year as well, working already for next year, trying to take care of you. But I thought there were some interesting things about the non-congregate feeding that, you know, how that's looking, how the parent guardian meal picked up is working. Because I know at the very beginning, we didn't know how that was going. And now you guys have rose to the occasion and have figured it out. So in the chat box, please tell me what you're doing. Tell me what you're looking for. And there's a reason I want to hear from all of you. And Hannah can read off the information, but more importantly, we're going to gather this information and use it for a task force that I'm building to move forward with to help you all in the future. Bulk foods. Indiana was a leader in this, and I am so proud of you all that you went to changing from giving them one meal a day to giving them several meals one day, and in that giving them a quart of milk or a gallon of milk instead of the 40 little pint containers or whatever that was, because that takes up a lot of space in a refrigeration unit that they may not have space for. Also, the unitized meals. This cracked me up that there was such a funny name for it, but when I started thinking about it, so many of you are out there doing eat and serve meals. You took your commodities, made them into meals that could be packaged, and the kids can go home and heat them. And so they look like regular store-bought heat and serve meals that we would normally get. You're doing lunch bags, you're doing breakfast bags, you're still doing the same products, but you're trying to be creative and getting a little bit more information. I'm not going to tell you I'm an authority on any of this. I'm learning as I go very quickly, but I am learning. But if you have questions or ideas, please reach out to us, and also IDOE. You know that we're good partners and that we do everything we can to make your lives a little bit easier during this time, and always, really, because you're our favorites. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. Oops. So tell me, what's keeping you guys up at night? Is it summer meals? Is it next year? Nationally, 44% of districts were planning on summer meals. Are you guys doing summer meals? Did any of you change? This is where you use the chat box. Keep talking to me, because I need to know which one of these are you doing? Are you still servicing your kiddos? Are you planning different meals? Are you still using the same menus from last year or from the past school year? Also, tell me what districts. If you're doing summer meals, let me know what districts are there so that we can continue to help you.
It's kind of quiet out there today, Michelle.
That's okay.
Not much chatter in the box.
Well, they're going to have to wake up because we have lots more exciting things coming.
So, everybody's tired. We'll give them a minute.
We will. So financial challenges, what do you need? I can personally tell you, I broke my budget on you. I actually begged other line items from our staff to make things happen, and I'm not afraid of that. I will do it again. But what are you guys looking for? What are you hearing out there? I know I've talked to some of you, and you're as much as $1 million in the hole doing this COVID meal scramble is what I'm calling it. I know that it's not my lane to do everything for you and to write you big blank checks, but what Dairy can do is tell us what can be done easier. Tell us what can be packaged better, what can be done easier, what foods you're looking for to simplify the food line. Does equipment help? What equipment are you looking for? I think we've kind of got the refrigeration issue solved for most of you, but if not, tell me that and tell me what district that we still need help in. Share your needs, write them down in the chat section. again, we're building this task force so we can be more beneficial when I come back to visit you in August. I do want to share something that is very impressive. You are still providing our kiddos with the best food possible. I have heard it from 3 or 4 districts that this has made a remarkable change in the family's perception of what they're doing with their kiddos' lunches, how hard the superintendents are seeing you all work, that you're all getting big pats on the back. And I think that we need to tout those benefits and actually tout more about what you all are doing. Because just think, if it wasn't for many of you, our kiddos would be going hungry. Our kiddos would not have a meal for breakfast. They wouldn't have anything for lunch. Some of them wouldn't even have supper. And that is a big pat on the back to you. And we realize that while the food is important, it's only good if they will eat it, and better yet, it's only nutritious if it's in their bodies, and that's what you're able to do. Through your creativity, you're being able to make this a reality. So thank you. Thank you for your quick thinking. Thank you for your quick reaction. Thank you for thinking out of the box. You are smart cookies out there. Even though you're quiet today, you're still smart. So then talk to me about some of your menu challenges. This one is near and dear to my heart, mostly because I'm a chef and I don't like to serve too many things the same way in a row. So tell me how your meals are looking. Are you doing heat and serves? Are you doing shelf stable? Are you doing hot meals? If you're serving out hot meals, how often are you doing those? How many times a week are you serving those out? Are you doing bulk meals so you're giving a box of food to a kid and it looks like a little mini mart stop with a loaf of bread, a gallon of milk, a pound of cheese, that sort of thing? Are you working with local restaurateurs to kind of help them and they help you? Any ideas? Any sharing yet, Hannah?
Yes, just a little bit here. So if we go back just to the summer meals topic,
Of course.
at least a couple of schools that are not going to be doing summer meals this year. They're not really sure what they're going to be doing for like lunches next year because they're still waiting to hear what their rules would be, which totally makes sense.
Right.
Oak Hill, Dana Smith at Oak Hill said they're not doing summer meals, but Melanie Honeycutt they will be doing summer meals. And then Jill Wozniak said St. Stan's in Michigan City, that they're standalone from the corporation. So they're still doing lunches through the end of June. But it's been very different for them because they've never done a summer program. So she might need a little support from us maybe. They're a closed site because they're so small.
Great. So Jill, reach out to me and let me know what you need. Also, Melanie, I spent a lot of time this week talking to Becky Bradley and helping her get her school set up. She said that you share summer meals. She sends her kids to your sites because she's so rural. So let me know how I can help her. I think that she wants to do something. I'm just not 100% sure what she needs. And I reached out to her this morning and asked her to join the webinar, but I wasn't sure if she was able to or not. So we are working with her on that. So tell me again what you're doing, because this is the time where we can really show off what we do well and what can be done in the future. So then staffing, wow. You guys rose to the occasion. Huge hugs to your staff. This has been a long, hard event. I've heard from all of you, all sorts of stories of the extra effort, extra hours, extra everything that has gone on. And I know your staff is tired. Is there something that we can do to help them? Is there something that you would like that we could do to help them? I've been telling everybody, and our staff is probably tired of hearing it, saying, think bigger. How big can we go? And then we can rein you in. My CEO always tells me that I think too big, and I've got balls everywhere in the air, and then her job is to pick up all the same color and run with that instead of trying to pick them all up. So tell us what you have planned, or tell us what you would like to see moving forward so that we can help you. Also share your stories with us, because those stories, every time I send out a newsletter, those stories resonate with another person that may be tired or may not see things the way you do. So that's what we're trying to help with. So the other thing I want to ask you about, talking about all of this, is we just sent out a bunch of carts for coffee. But I want to know, what's your classroom's going to look like? Have you got that far? Or once you learn, share with me. Are we going to need milk coolers in the hallways to hold cold product? Are we going to need equipment in the hallway to serve from, like warm foods? I know one of the food service directors in Southern Indiana wants a panini machine that is cold to the touch, so the kids, if they walk up, they don't get burnt, but he can make paninis, he can make pizza, tacos, anything off of that, so the kids can smell and it doesn't feel like it's cold food or the same old thing in a box. He wanted some smells going on. So think about those kinds of things. Think about those really big, crazy pieces of equipment that you've only dreamed of. We have manufacturers on the phone with us today, and they can easily start working on those because we have 3 months. Most of them can build something very quickly because they've already got the pieces and parts. I spoke earlier with our national company, DMI, Dairy Management Inc., and Waring heard your replies, heard your calls for a larger chocolate milk dispenser, a hot chocolate dispenser that heats without scalding, that provides hot chocolate in a reasonable amount. So this hot chocolate maker will use regular hot chocolate that comes through your door from your purveyor and heats up 7 gallons of milk. So we actually have a large serving chocolate milk dispenser that can be self-serve when things are easier and can be that way, or it can be back of the house turned the way of your staff, however you want to set it up. If that's something that's interesting to you, let me know. Some of you used to have vending. I've been at the dairy long enough that we used to have vending machines in the hallways for the kiddos. It was taken out because it wasn't profitable. It was also hard to work with. We have new vending machine options that might be perfect for this no touch, perfect for the kids getting what they need and then moving forward. Vindication is the name of the company, and they're working with us on all kinds of vending possibilities. So I wanted to share that with you.
Hey, Michelle.
Yeah.
Real quick, before you get too much further, I thought Melanie had shared a little bit to answer your question earlier about what kinds of things they were doing right now. She said they're serving 3 hot meals, 1 cold meal, and a Pizza Hut pizza each week.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and they have 3 buses going out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They serve 2 breakfast, 2 lunch on Monday and Wednesday, and 1 breakfast and 1 lunch on Friday. And they're also going door to door with families without vehicles. That's awesome.
Melanie, remind the audience how large your school district is, because you don't have a tiny district. You are urban, but you don't have a tiny district, as I recall.
We have 1,500.
No.
We're serving probably 600 meals. I should say not 600 meals. I should say 600 students. Because when we do that, we're sending out 2 breakfast and 2 lunch on Monday. So we're sending out 2,400.
Okay, great. This is perfect. This is exactly what we want, all of this information, because then that helps our Fuel Up team, that helps our dairy optimization team, and it's going to help our dairy folks make better educated decisions on how to help you guys. Awesome work. Thanks, Melanie.
I want to say one more thing with the pint of milk. We stuck with that because a lot of the kids, I did a survey and they like being able, the little ones, to pour their milk on. And I think
okay.
it them of being at school. So that was one of the reasons we stuck with that.
Okay, that's good to know. That's all good information. Because we know, we hear from so many and that sometimes we don't hear from all of you. So it's nice after we get through all of these webinars to go back through and see who's doing what so that we can kind of help you better. Awesome. Okay, so some other updates. I think these are kind of cool. I know that we told you that most of the grants were closed. We just found out that grants are open till the end of June. This is the For Schools Sake Gen Youth funding up to $3,000 for equipment. If you go to covid-19.genyouthnow.org, and we will put that in the notes, then you can go there, sign up for grant money, and we can continue to help you. I know that Josh and Meg have given away a lot of money during this, and we've helped, I think, 15 to 18 schools. So that's huge. Giving them coolers, giving them insulated bags, things that can help them, help you guys move forward. And this is not your typical fuel up to play money. This is additional money. So we still have money for you all. I wanted to share with this because it was an update. As you know, National Dairy Council and all things dairy used to be all separate websites. So you went to the Innovation Center, you went to National Dairy Council, you went to another ag resource. All of them have now merged, and now it is usdairy.com. And this is so helpful to all of you so that you can get resources, recipes, because the recipes are ready. They've passed all the regulations, the requirements. We've made them to fit either a family or for 50 or more. So we have all of that. All of the information for Fuel Up to Play is on there. So I did want to share that with you. And moving quickly here, we have some resources. So this is such an old slide, it's kind of embarrassing, but it is what it is. This is where the data came from. So you used to be doing food bars and service lines and all of that. Now you're moving towards grab and go, mobile devices maybe, kiosks, vending. Which ones of these items are you going to be doing when school starts? Which ones of them are you absolutely not doing? I know, Melanie, talking to you, we're going to need to help Becky with meals in the classroom. Her school is a little nervous about that because we have new carpet. I sent her a lot of links, but if any of you have information on how you worked with your superintendents in your schools to get meals in the classroom, share that so we can all work together to make it easier for everybody. I keep thinking, when I went to school, we used to stomp on ketchup packets for fun and watch them explode. So how are we going to do condiments in the future? Because fries without ketchup just aren't fries in my mind. So I was thinking about that. How's that going to work for you guys? So I'm not going to stay on this very long, but send me what you have. Talk to me. And if it's not today, I'm around all time. I'm always here. Okay, maybe tomorrow I'm taking the day off, but that's not the point. This is a bit of an eye chart, but there's some information here that when you get it tomorrow or the next day when Hannah gets it out to you, this is all the equipment that we have available to you. We also have much more. If you look at a piece of equipment and say, I would just like this tweaked or I would like that tweaked, tell the manufacturer, we gave you all the contact information, all the email, everything about them. Tell them what you want. This makes it easier, and you know where your dollars can go. And how quickly it can happen. So we know that we have portable hand washing sinks. Are you going to need those? I don't know, but some places might. They might think it's the best use of the system. And this is my favorite. I sent this to Hannah. Hannah wanted a whiteboard at her house, and they have whiteboards that come in all shapes, all different kinds of fun shapes. But whether you're doing curbside or in the classroom or down the hallway, you're going to need signage. You're going to need information for these kiddos, at least the first week or so. So if you have a little bit of extra money, you may not have the graphic art department in your school, but Love Your Classroom is a perfect way of getting information out there and getting things done quickly and efficiently. They work with all schools across the nation, so they have a lot of things already ready to go that you don't have to worry about. Excuse me. And lastly, before I bring on new information, the Indiana Grown has a new newsletter. And this is important because it gives you all kinds of information on how to get farm to school started, or if you need a vendor from farm to school to help promote, because spinach is the vegetable of the year. So think about that. This is new. It's kind of fun to read. I enjoyed it. So while I'm rambling here, I'm going to quit talking for a bit, and I want to introduce you to my friend and partner for summer meals, and that is Denise Ferguson. Denise is a registered dietitian working for the Marion County Health Department, and just a wealth of knowledge. And this is what came of having breakfast with her back in February. So Denise, take it away.
Okay, thanks, Michelle. Yeah, Michelle and I have been partners in crime, so to speak, for at least 15 years with summer feeding. So we've done this in all kinds of different shapes and sizes, but it's always been a wonderful partnership. So we've worked together in various ways to help bring nutrition messages to feeding sites. And this year, of course, it's going to be very different, but we kind of had to do a quick emergency huddle and shift gears. And so I'll tell you about some of our thoughts about that in just a minute. But first, I want to back up and talk about our great interns that we have. And actually, there's a number of you who are attending today, so thanks for squeezing that in your schedule. So Michelle and I both take a number of interns from different schools, so from Ball State, from ISU, from Purdue, IUPUI, and also IU Bloomington. So we really would not have been able to do all of this programming over the years if we hadn't had those extra pairs of hands. Starting about 3 years ago, we also started applying for summer youth money. So that's actually a pot of money that the city of Indianapolis provides, and it gives us summer youth workers. For many years, I did not apply because I didn't realize that it also included college-age students, because in our facility, we're not allowed to have anyone who is a minor on premise. So like they can't even come for a shadow day. So this was kind of a great eureka moment when I was talking with somebody from the city, and they're like, oh yes, you can use college students. So this has enabled us to be able to pay our interns a little bit of money, because I know it's always asking a lot to intern for free. So, and it's kind of a win-win. It really gives interns great experience just working with kids, kind of getting some more real life teaching experience, And of course, the kids get a lot out of it too. So there we go. So of course, I get this question a lot, like, why are we even bothering to do nutrition education? Because, you know, don't they just run in and grab their lunches and leave? Well, you know, as we've kind of built this program over these many years, we know that a lot of the kids that we are serving are really struggling with food insecurity and poor choices at home. And we also know that they can actually become influencers for their parents. So as we do these fun activities and we're talking about the importance of fruits and vegetables, dairy, of course, whole grains, those are all messages that go home with them. And so then maybe as they're shopping with mom or dad, then they can kind of influence what goes into the basket. So, so I've always felt like that our work has been extremely important in this area. And it's also just a lot of fun activities for kids that otherwise, again, might just be walking to a park, picking up a meal and leaving. So just a little something extra for their day. Usually we have been able to meet to serve about 500 kids in these various camps, feeding sites, and school districts. But, you know, obviously this year, not so much. So Michelle and I were really trying to think, you know, what can we do now that so many face-to-face things have been ruined? So our great minds think alike. So we were both kind of on the same page of, you know, let's try to just look at the best of our materials and put those together as like a guide, or we decided to call it a playbook as kind of a pun off of Fuel Up to Play 60. But we wanted a really great resource for parents, for kids, and any other adults that might still be working with kids, because I know some camps are running on like a very small or limited basis, and they are looking for activities and things that they could do. But we're excited that the playbook is going online. And Michelle, I'll let you talk about the push out of this in a minute. But for the various places that we're gonna send this to, we really think that this year might be pretty terrific because we really have the potential to reach just thousands of children statewide instead of, you know, just our usual 500. So go ahead to the next. So the playbook is kind of divided up, I won't say chapters, but we just kind of have materials grouped together for easy use. So we've got some things on my plate. We've got things specific to fruits and vegetables, for whole grains and dairy. And then there were some other things in there too, that like some little fun crafts or family resources. So just a lot of really fun things that we can put together. Go ahead to the next. We also have, we wanted to really stress physical activity this year because again, so many people are at home and maybe not having that many opportunities to just get outside. So we have a worksheet called A Month of Moves and Fruit and Veggie Yoga, and that is also available on YouTube as well. So that, you know, that's something that say parents could log in and do with their kids every single day if they wanted to, you know, to do this fun activity. Okay. And then we've got some really terrific videos coming from dairy. So we've got the Milk from Cow to You. This is actually, we've used this in the past, and we have, we kind of put it in a storybook format, and we use this live in the camps over the last several years, and the kids really love this story. Like, it's one of those books that they just want to read over and over and over, and they never get tired of it. So that will be a great resource if you have never used that before. There's an online dairy farm tour, and then there's a link for some farmers that are just reading some storybooks. So again, just some more kind of fun activities that you can do. The kids can either do by themselves, or as a parent or a grandparent, you could do that with maybe the children you're spending the day with, or again, in schools or with camp counselors. So we're hoping that there will really be a lot of different ways that these materials can be used. Okay, go ahead. So one thing we wanted to address is, our original thought was, well, kids can access these materials, and, they can just use their computers at home, but then they're like, well, we have a lot of families that don't really have computers. So, then what are we going to do? Our backup plan was to make use of the Indianapolis Public Library, but then, plan B kind of went by the wayside because, the libraries are pretty closed up right now and just offering curbside service. So we wanted to make sure that we kind of back this up with a little bit of research, and in my work with the health department and also with the WIC program, we know that a lot of low-income families on either SNAP or WIC, they do own smartphones, and they are actually kind of using them in place of a family computer. So because of that, and it's actually a large number, depending on which survey you look at, it's floating somewhere between like 71 and 81% of families owning smartphones. So that's pretty substantial. So we're really hoping that families will be able to use those materials. We also created this flyer, and so the playbook is already posted online, and so the QR code on this flyer will take you to the playbook. And then, it's completely downloadable, and then you could, it's actually about 50 pages long. So it's a large amount of games and puzzles and activities. But then, of course, you can also just select only 1 or 2 pages if that's all you have interest in. So we're hoping to get these flyers pushed out, and then they can be used at feeding sites or wherever there's going to be groups of children. And then do you have the playbook you can put up? You can
No.
share the screen.
No, I don't have all of it. But,
okay, I've got just let's see here. Okay, let's see if I'm going to be able to, if I can share my screen. I'll try to get over here. Okay, can you see this?
Michelle will have to stop sharing hers so that Denise, you can share yours.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Right.
There we go.
Okay, so you can view it now?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Now at the bottom of your screen, do you have a share screen that you can click on?
Mm-hmm. So let me, okay. Let me see if I can get this to do anything. I'm not sure if it will let me share screen since I'm not a host, but we'll try. Okay, is that showing up now?
Yes.
It is.
Okay, yay. Okay, technology is always great until it doesn't work. So I won't spend a lot of time on this, but the one other thing that I wanted to show you in this cover page, there is also another QR code that's in here. So we wanted to make sure that we put in some kind of evaluation. So this is, basically for whoever is using the materials. So we've linked this up with the Survey Monkey, just kind of asking people, did you like these materials? How did you use them? How many people did you reach? That kind of thing. Because I think it'll be really valuable information for both me and Michelle to be able to use in future years to kind of see what kind of audience we are reaching. So, and then, so here's like an example of, some of the little games and puzzles. We also have some really neat recipes in here. Here's a fun summer story. I'm just going through this really fast because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it, but you can really see how cute these activities are. And again, a big thank you to some of the students that worked on these pieces. So you can be proud seeing your finished work go out in a document like this that hopefully so many people will use. So, all right, I think I can stop sharing this at this point, and we can go back to Michelle. Did you want to talk a little bit about where you want to push this out?
Yep. We are going to send this to IDOE, IS, all the libraries, to Indie Park, to the YMCAs, the Boys and Girls Clubs. So hopefully everyone will have a chance to see this. We really wanted to push it out to our school food service directors because we know that you are the catalyst to make a lot of this happen. And if you draw the attention to this QR code to your students or to the parents, then we know that they'll more likely be interactive with it. So that's really exciting. So thanks, Denise. This is awesome.
Yeah, and Hannah, I had a question for you. In the chat, you posted something called Gen Youth Grants. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure, that was, Michelle had brought up a little bit earlier. We'd have to go back a few slides, and she was talking about how previously there had been some Gen Youth grants that was probably March, April-ish. We had talked to this group about being able to apply for funding to help their schools. And at one point, we thought they were going to be shutting that down, that they were limited in what funds they had left, so they weren't accepting additional requests for funding. But we did find out this week that they are still open and there are still opportunities for Indiana schools as well as those across the country. So I know in the version that Michelle had to share, since I couldn't share slides today, she had to read off what the link was, and I thought it might be helpful if I posted it there so that anybody that was watching could be able to go straight to that Gen Youth link and be able to apply for funding for their school if they needed.
And this is what happens when you send it to Hannah saying, hey, can you put this link in? Thinking that everything's going to run smoothly. And then, oh, I'm sharing my slides.
Right, right.
So anyway, thanks, Denise. This has been such a fun project. Our interns have loved it. It's just always so much fun to do summer meals. And the sad part is, I can't say this enough, is that our interns normally get to go out and be part of this. And this time they don't get to, but they were very influential in getting bits and pieces and prizes and games and all this together. So it's very exciting. So moving forward, there's Denise's information in case you need to get a hold of her for anything. She's a wealth of knowledge. It's just amazing. I go to her for so many things, and every time I learn so much. So you all can use her too.
I think we trade off.
But the bottom line is, during the month of May, we couldn't be at the Indy 500. And that's where we usually get to thank a driver for drinking that glass of milk, actually a bottle of milk, and celebrating what our farmers do all year long, which is work hard, and their dedication to agriculture, their dedication to schools. They've always been very forthright in making sure that milk was in schools. So we can't thank you all enough but we're going to try. So all over the last 3 months, we've posted pictures, we've highlighted things that you've done, but now here are many of you that were all nominated for our Hoosier Hero Award, all up on the screen. I know a lot of you, the funny story is that when you work through Google Docs, things change all the time. And one of the pictures came over of one of you, and I said, no, that's not the right name. And they said, well, yeah, it is. I said, no, I promise you, I know this food service person, that's not the right name. So we had to go back through and change, but it was, I guess, as much of an honor for me that you all were nominated, but the fact that I know your faces and that I know who you are, that really makes my job so much a piece of cake. I can call you and just say, hey, this is what I need. So that's really cool. So thank you. This is my peanut gallery thanking you. And one more little thing. I've got a little bit of housekeeping. So before we all close, you know you can reach me at mplummer@wintersdrinkmilk.com. You know you can go to our website for anything. If you have any needs or you aren't willing to share something in the chat, you can always email me directly, because we're going to take a little hiatus. We are going to not send out a newsletter in June or July, and we will have a newsletter and a webinar in August, because like I said, we're going to spend a month getting our task force together and information. So this is the interactive part. Get ready, because this is all about you guys. How many kisses are in the mug? Show your love. Tell us how many. Start putting in your numbers, because there's a big prize for the winner. I'm so excited about the prize. Hannah, how are they doing? Are they awake yet? They love free stuff.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Stephanie says 84. Kurt says
Too high.
62. Melanie says 53. Jill says 135. I mean, the numbers just keep coming in. Let's see here. 47. 70,
Bingo.
47?
Yes.
Well,
Who was that?
Dana South.
Okay.
She wasn't the only one to guess 47, though.
Okay,
Teresa?
I need to know all the ones that guessed 47.
Okay.
I need your school and a mailing address and the number of people in your staff.
So Dana South and Teresa Mintz both
Nice
guessed
job.
47.
Thank you all. Thank you all for sitting in on our webinars. Thank you for letting us learn with you. Thank you for sharing what you're doing, because this is huge. And when we come back in August, we'll have new ideas, we'll have more money, we will have more updates and information, and I'm sure we'll have more kisses and hugs. Have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye, everybody.